Hi, I'm Rich Casaro. My new book, The Missing Link, focuses on what I call the GodSelf Icon. We find it in every major ancient culture that built pyramids in the Americas, Africa, and Asia. The GodSelf Icon is the missing link connecting these ancient pyramid cultures to each other, and possibly to an earlier advanced Golden Age mother culture, a lost civilization so remote it's been forgotten. The GodSelf icon depicts a human or human-like figure facing forward, holding twin objects symmetrically in each hand. These objects are usually staffs or animals, sometimes serpents. In my 2011 book, Written in Stone, I included a chapter announcing my discovery of the GodSelf icon. I showed how the ancient pyramid cultures all shared not only the GodSelf icon, but also a series of 3-door temples that I named Triptych Temples. The center door is the source, the God within or soul within us, which is who we really are. The twin doors are the opposing bodily forces of duality that surround the soul on either side and that the soul must confront and master in life. I explained how these triptych temples are artifacts of a universal religion that flourished globally in the remote past, and I claimed that this universal religion may be evidence of a prehistoric golden age. The hallmark of this golden age was the creation of unusually advanced monuments of stone. Such feats required tremendous powers of concentration and cooperation in situations where the smallest mistakes could be fatal. This shared craftsmanship and mutual dependency fostered a feeling of brotherhood and promoted a heightened sense of spiritual development. The rough ASHLAR came to symbolize the entered apprentice. The smooth ASHLAR was the master mason. It was incumbent upon the apprentice to transform himself into a master. Many of the structures these ancient masons built were based on the triptych pattern, which to them had a spiritual and symbolic significance. The universal religion of the Triptych Temple formed the foundation of modern Freemasonry and other secret societies like the Knights of Pythias, Skull and Bones, and Shriners, all of whom use the triptych entrance into their headquarters. In The Missing Link, I show how the GodSelf icon means the same thing as the Triptych Temple. The GodSelf icon represents the soul of the hero or sage who balances his opposing bodily forces, represented by the twin objects held symmetrically in each hand. In Egypt, the Ankh cross of life was often depicted as a GodSelf icon because it represented the eternal part of us, the spiritual center within us that we find when we balance our opposing twin sides. The god Osiris, who was the role model for Egypt's masses, was often depicted as a GodSelf icon. For the Egyptians, this hieroglyphic symbol called He had a single profound meaning. It stood for eternity, a clear reference to the eternal within us, our spiritual center or soul within that was never born and never dies. One of Egypt's earliest GodSelf icons is the powerful god Bes, depicted here atop the high columns of a famous Egyptian temple in Dendera. Incredibly, this depiction of Bes is nearly identical to a GodSelf icon carved on the Gate of the Sun in Tiahuanaco, Bolivia, halfway around the world. Here, the creator god Viracocha of the Andes strikes the same GodSelf pose as Bes. For the Inca and pre-Inca stonemasons who worked at Tiahuanaco and indeed across the ancient Andes, the GodSelf icon was the main religious symbol. These cultures include the Chachapoyas, Chancay, Chavin, Chimu, Inca, Moche, Nazca, Paracas, Sican Lambayeque, Tiahuanaco, and Wari. Based on these parallels, it almost seems as if the Egyptians and pre-Incas were sister civilizations, descendants of the same Golden Age mother culture, and inheritors of the same Master Mason tradition. Both cultures left megalithic stone masonry so advanced that they leave modern visitors in awe. Just as the GodSelf icon was a central image for the Egyptians and pre-Incas, we also find it right at the beginning in India, the birthplace of Hinduism and home of many advanced megalithic stone monuments. The Indus Valley Civilization, the first known culture in India, produced brilliant examples of GodSelf icons. Certain key aspects of Hinduism, such as non-duality and finding the center between opposites, clearly reflect the ideas associated with the GodSelf icon. We see a similar evolution in Persia, where GodSelf icons appear abundantly in the prehistoric JIROFT civilization. Persia was home to Zoroastrianism, whose chief god, ZURVAN, was represented as an androgynous figure in the form of a GodSelf icon. He balanced himself between Ahura Mazda on the side of good against Ahriman on the side of evil. Thousands of years later, with the church ensconced in most of Europe, the medieval stonemasons took on the role of preserving this ancient wisdom. As inheritors of the universal religion of the Triptych Temple, these stonemasons encoded the GodSelf icon in architecture. Beliefs that Christians rejected as heretical were hidden by the Freemasons in the Gothic cathedrals and other monuments. Sadly, among Masons today, few realize the origins and the significance of these building traditions. We see a survival of this Masonic GodSelf icon in an alchemical drawing called the rebus, which first appeared in the work Azoth of the Philosophers by Basil Valentine in 1613. Freemasonry's chief symbols, the compass and square, are in the rebus's right and left hands. GodSelf icons from modern esoteric manuscripts share the same posture. As with the rebus, the sun is associated with the right hand and the moon with the left hand. The central hero is clearly poised, centered between these extremes, indicating a balance. The missing link builds on the case I made in Written in Stone to show that one of the most important symbols in human history has been overlooked and misunderstood. The GodSelf icon points to how we can recognize our eternal nature within and achieve the age-old aspiration of mind over matter.